Because there's albums that I love that I would not want to live in, you know, a lot of black metal records and stuff where you don't want to hang out there necessarily.
No.
You just like you.
Hi, I'm Sarah from the Music Enthusiast, and tonight I'm here with Mappe. He just played a wonderful set at POP Montreal. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I am super, super pumped to talk to you. Like I've been saying nonstop, this album that you just released is absolutely stunning. I think it's one of my albums of the year.
I'm honored. Thank you.
Of course. So, how's your day been so far?
Good. Long drive into Montreal, and then, the usual venue rigmarole, sound check, and all that.
Yeah.
But just finished the set and felt pretty good. So great day overall.
Yeah. What's your fondest musical memory?
I feel like it's usually these like little tiny moments that are the most like electric, just connecting with people in jam sessions and things like that. Playing with my first sort of real band after high school and stuff, where we were really trying to play shows and all of that. It was called Small Town Lungs. I think a lot of my favorite musical memories, were just in that formative time of like that really tight-knit crew looking at each other like, oh, this is cool, that moment of connection. Yeah.
This new album, Afterglades, is, again, absolutely stunning. But it did take you a while to release it.
Yeah.
So what was the moment where it finally clicked and the writer's block sort of gone away?
I took some time away at this studio called Yellow House in Ontario near Guelph. It's my friend's childhood home, and they turned the basement into a studio.
Awesome.
So I spent the week there, kind of just like, okay, I'm gonna go away and try and like sort of excavate whatever's going on in my mind. I think the perseverance of doing that and like sitting down every day trying to write and crying and struggling and going through that process. My now wife and one of my best friends, Will Cran, who's the co-producer on the record, came up at the end of that week, and I was just like so lost in the weeds of what I was making, and I showed them a few things and they're like, this is sick, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing anymore, But then I took a little breather after that, and I kind of was like, okay, there's something here, and then I started kind of digging stuff up after that, and it started to come together as like a formed thought, but it took a while for sure.
And it's good to have like a little support system in your corner always.
100%. Yeah, they've been indispensable for sure. Both of them have helped me get to the finish line with this record. 100%. Yeah.
Amazing. Do you have any weird like rituals or things you must do while you're making music that without it just feels awkward?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
When I was at Yellow House, I was talking about before, for my writing session, I projected some films on the wall. I couldn't even see them most of the time, but it was just like color palettes and stuff. I just asked a bunch of my friends, like, can you send me some aesthetically pleasing films in different color palettes? One of my friends sent me like color palette and then a list of films, like another color palette and a list of films. Sometimes it's so abstract and mercurial the way that you can like construct a vibe in a studio. It kind of feels pretentious. It helps, I think, having that like creative energy being projected literally into the room.
This album cover is super stunning as well. Who came up with it, and what was sort of the initial idea for the album, and what was it like seeing it grow into what it is today?
Yeah, so that was Miles Sheik, who's a designer out of Victoria, BC. I shared some conceptual stuff like inspo with him, like portal kind of imagery, that sort of thing was very prevalent. There's like a sci-fi current running through the whole record, so we talked about that a lot before he like started conceiving of things. It was a bit of an iterative process, as it kind of always is, but yeah, he conceived of that archway component and like the shapes that are like sort of abstractly placed, but with an intention to it. We had talked a lot about like portals and what they represent in terms of time, in terms of like space. Yes. And how that works into the sort of sci-fi thematics around the record.
Amazing. If you could live in an album for a week, what would the album be?
Oh, Yeah, that's interesting because there's albums that I love that I would not want to live in. You know, a lot of black metal records and stuff where
Yeah.
you don't want to hang out there necessarily.
No.
You just like you just like watch from afar.
Yeah.
Maybe On the Beach by Neil Young
Okay,
would be a
nice.
good one.
Nice.
A lot of records like that, like William Ackerman and like that sort of guitar-based stuff, like William Tyler, where it's just this like nice pastoral, feels like a big wide open field in a cabin, you know, and that's
it.
always appealing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also this record, Elias of Sunhillow.
Okay.
By John Anderson from Yes. It's like this crazy concept record. I don't know. There's something about the universe that he built in terms of the artwork, but also sonic aesthetic of the record. From a fantasy adventure standpoint, that would be a cool one.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. You just played Pop Montreal. So who are your favorite Montreal artists?
Braids comes to mind. Tanya Iyer, I saw live. It's almost like 10 years ago now, maybe 8 years ago.
I think she just played last night somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sick. Yeah, I would love to see her again. We just like kind of showed up at one of her shows, and Common Holly played that show too and made a big impression on me there too, who's playing tonight, maybe right now.
I think right now.
And Godspeed.
Amazing.
Godspeed, 100%.
If you let a pigeon into your band or your team, what would its role be? What do you think a pigeon
A
would
pigeon?
be good at? Yeah.
I feel like percussion is a kind of the obvious answer. I mean, I don't know if you want them to have a melodic role necessarily, but they would be really fun as a percussionist for sure. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Aux percussion, not drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aux, specifically.
Yeah.
A very last question for you. Who are your favorite artists right now? Who are you listening to?
Right now, I'm listening to a lot of Witch Bolt, like a dungeon synth ambient artist.
Very
I'm
cool.
listening to a lot of that recently. I mentioned William Tyler already. He just put out a record. This band Burrs, which are some friends of mine, have been putting out some new music. I've been listening to a lot of like PS1 ambient music mixes on YouTube.
Okay, amazing.
Not like, various artists, I guess, in that specific situation, but Dijon, new Dijon
Love
record.
Dijon.
Yeah, that one I've been listening to a lot. Oh, and Godly the Ruler, who's playing tomorrow night, and we're going to see. Really into what they're up to. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. Well, Mappe, thank you so much for chatting with me. This has
My
been
pleasure.
incredible. And again, like I said, this album is stunning. So, if you like what you hear, I think it's only fair that you give a listen to his new album and follow him everywhere. And if you found your new favorite artist that we should know about it, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.